What's up, guys? We're back here with another breakdown video for UFC pay-per-view. This time joined again by YinYang Monkey's Sam. Yeah, it's an exciting pay-per-view. We spoke a little bit about it, touched on how excited we were beforehand, and I really just want to get into it because this one, compared to, say, the last one, the excitement level isn't nearly as close.
Bro, I haven't been this excited for a card since Habib McGregor, October
Really?
2018. No shit. I'm so excited, man. Like, the card from the early prelims to the prelims, main card, every single fight is going to be a banger. Every single one.
Everything, early prelims, main card. Yeah, everything, dude. It's insane the amount of fights are on there.
What a time to be a UFC fan, bro.
Yeah, dude. They're putting together the best fights. And so let's get right into it then, right? Let's not waste any time here. Let's get right into the good stuff. So let's get into some of those fights on the main card. Is what I want to jump into. And I kind of want to start right at the top. We got Israel Adesanya versus Jared Cannonier. What do you think of the fight? What's your prediction?
Whew, fuck, mate. I mean, Cannonier's just got that power, mate. He's coming like, was he an ex-heavyweight? He's going to come there, and I think he's going to try and he's just going to try and put Izzy to sleep, bro. But Izzy's so hard to touch. But there's just a certain fire. I don't know if you noticed, there's a certain fire about Izzy this fight week. He seems pissed off. Like he doesn't seem himself. He feels like he's got a point to prove. International Fight Week, he's been comparing it to like the Super Bowl and shit. And I don't know, man. I think Izzy, when he's like this, he's unbeatable, man. I think he's starting to know his place as like one to go to middleweight, and he's just going to prove it. But this could be an upset as well. Like that, like to see what Cannonier done to Brunson last time out. Come on.
Cannonier's got power. Like the power, sometimes power doesn't translate, but his power translated all the way from heavyweight.
Yep. All right, for sure. And it's dangerous, but is he fought guys like Yoel Romero, who hits harder than Yoel Romero. For Christ's sake, I mean, granted it was the most boring fight ever, but I don't think it's gonna be like that. I just watched him better, and Izzy was saying that he hopes that Cannonier brings the same energy, comes forward swinging. So it's going to be a good fight, bro.
You got Izzy then, right?
I got Izzy on this one, yeah. At this point, he's just formidable, but it's a tough one, bro.
Like a finish? How do you think it goes down?
I think he could finish. I think he might finish him, yeah. You just got to think of the reach as well. Cannonier's he's not even 6 foot, bro. I don't think. I think he's like 5'11" or something. But it's just that reach, and I think Izzy'll just snipe him like he does anyway. It'll be like a kind of Brunson performance. Brunson dropped Cannonier in the last fight, I believe, and so we'll see how Izzy dismantles Brunson. But that's MMA maths; it doesn't always translate.
Doesn't.
But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Brunson, the round was going to end. Brunson was going to win the fight. He had him in a rear naked choke, and then he just rode out like the last 10 seconds. So that was just tough. Yeah, I think that fight's interesting, but in terms of how interesting, that's something that I would have to break down, because does it interest me as much as like Robert Whittaker fight? No. Does it interest me as much as when he fought Paulo Costa at the time? No, it doesn't.
Yeah. No, that was exciting.
Yeah, because the Costa fight didn't end up living up afterward. Like Izzy kind of dominated and it wasn't like an all-out war. But like going into the fight, yeah, for sure. It was a great fight. But it was one-sided though. Going into that fight, though, like people thought it was going to be a close fight. Like a lot of people had Izzy losing that fight, if you remember. Yeah. So I don't get that sort of threat in this one. Cannonier's good, but there's sort of levels to this, right? Like I do think Whittaker is like the 1A, 1B to Adesanya, even though I think there's a little bit more of a gap. Like it's not necessarily like Holloway and Volkanovski, 1A, 1B, which we're going to get into. But I think it's a good fight. I think Cannonier's got the power to put him out, maybe more than a couple of the last guys as he's faced. But I just see Adesanya winning this fight. Like, I think probably if I had to put my life on it, or my money, say something safer, I would probably say Adesanya wins a decision. I think. I don't know if he gets him out, but I mean, does Cannonier get finished a lot too? I don't know. Whittaker wasn't able to put him out. So I don't know. I'll take Adesanya by decision, but it's not a fight that blows me away into the sense where I'm like, oh, what's going to happen here?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that one. But there's two factors as well. I mean, can Cannonier like actually touch Izzy? How elusive he is, and I mean, could Cannonier wrestle? People seem to say there's a hole in his game. Izzy's game, that is, with like how Jan took him down and kind of bullied him on the ground. But Jan's a big guy, but Cannonier used to be a heavyweight, so I mean, he's probably still got that heavyweight strength in him. So it is interesting, but again, it's not on the level like Costa. Like I thought, I'll be honest, I'm one of the biggest Izzy fans ever, but I thought I was like, shit, Costa might have me, and look what happened there. So
right, and here's the thing, right? I think the path for Cannonier to beat him is obviously by knockout, but easier said than done. I don't think he's going to knock out Adesanya out. He just doesn't put himself in positions to get knocked out. Yeah. He's a smart fighter. He's the matador. Yeah. He's always the matador. He's never the bull, so he's not going to get knocked out. But what I'm going to say towards that is that Cannonier, sure, you could say that, and I would say this is his most viable option is to wrestle him and sort of ride it out, and then the takedowns will get easier and easier once you get into the third, fourth, and fifth round. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not that easy to just do that. Robert Whittaker's a better wrestler than Jared Cannonier. Izzy's fought better wrestlers than Jared Cannonier. They didn't do that to Israel Adesanya. So you can't just say, oh, Jared Cannonier has a path to victory. He just has to wrestle him because Jan did it. All right, but Jan did it one time when he went up to a weight class. And it's not. And I don't think that's going to happen. And he is really good. No. Part of the reason why he doesn't lose is because he has great takedown defense also.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a purple belt in jiu-jitsu now as well. And I fucking love to see like Adesanya get submission, how like to his legacy in that, because people see him as like this striker. Imagine if Cannonier takes him down, Izzy gets him a triangle or something, then he's goated for me. Like
right. And Cannonier's not that good on the ground to the point where if Izzy did that, it would shock me, but I wouldn't be like blown away to the point where I'd be like, oh, I would never see Cannonier. How, it wouldn't. I just wouldn't see that.
But the ground game, man, like that's how he took Brunson out. Those elbows were one of the nastiest things I've seen in a while. That was brutal.
And those come though when he hurts you on the feet, though, right? He's not like taking you down and then getting into a down. Like he's landing those elbows. That's because he he put you down. He didn't like wrestle you down, right? So I don't know. Like it's a good fight, but it's exciting. It's not Volkanovski versus Korean Zombie, where I made video prior to that fight where I was like, I don't want to see this fight. Like there's level, like Volkanovski's on a different level. You know what I mean? It's not that type of fight. I don't like. I think Cannonier could beat him. He could knock him out legitimately as a power. So I'm still excited for it.
Well, so we both think I think you just made the best segue. So Volkanovski in the co-main event against Max Holloway for the third time. I mean,
this is the one. This
really?
Is the one for me.
I mean, obviously, I can't wait, but like my heart's going with Max, but my head's going with Alex again. Does this taint Max Holloway's legacy if he gets beat for a third time against Volk?
100%. It taints. Whoever loses this fight, it's gonna knock them down a peg in the sense like they're definitely not the best featherweight of all time, and they're definitely not better than the guy that they just lost to, right?
If Max Holloway wins, did he do a fourth? Like
it's possible if Volkanovski keeps winning because it's technically it would be 2-2 at that point. Here's my problem with that though, right? Is if you go back and watch the fight, like there's nothing you can. I've seen the fight like 3 times. There's nobody on earth that can convince me that Alexander Volkanovski won that fight. There's close fights sometimes.
The second one, yeah.
The second one, not the first one. The second one.
Yeah.
There's close fights, but that was there's close fights where people it can go either way, even though I think it went the other way. But that was, to me, wasn't really a close fight. I just thought it was kind of a robbery.
Yeah, I can't really remember it too much, but I remember at the time thinking the same thing. And I mean, as far as legacy goes, I still think Max Holloway is the best featherweight to do it. I mean, if we're going to compare the two of them, the 100%, just the stuff Max Holloway does, and he takes a lot of damage, but it's like it's his style, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like. I don't know, man, but Volkanovski is just that fighter who you doubt, kind of. I mean, I've been guilty of in the past doubting him, and then you just every single time. I mean, how many fights in a row has he won, and he still doesn't get the respect he deserves. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm not excited for this fight most of the night, but it's going to be interesting. But I say that now, but when you're in there, and Bruce Buffer's on the mic, and they're just about to get called on. This is the one where I'm going to get butterflies, and I'm like, shit.
This is dude. I'm looking forward to this fight. I've been looking forward to this fight for so long. There's certain fights that get me up. Number 2 versus number 6 pound for pound, dude. Like this is me as a super fight, in my opinion. Like these guys are 2 of the best in the world, legitimately 2 of the best fighters in the world. And I want to tell you something about this. That's interesting. Here's the thing, right? Dana White said after the fight, and Dana said some crazy stuff in the past, but he clearly went out after the fight and said Max Holloway won the fight. Like, you talk to most fighters and they will say Max Holloway won the second fight. I went back and watched the last round of that fight just to get to put some videos together and stuff. And Michael Bisping even said in the last 3 minutes, he was, and the other commentators agree with him. He was like, oh, well, Alexander Volkanovski is going to need a finish here. It was like at that moment in time, it was obvious that, yeah, dude, if you go back and watch that fight, Max Holloway won the fight clearly, bro. Like clearly. You know what it is like a lot of people have like recency bias, right? In terms of wins and losses, but that was a long time ago. People don't remember how they felt at that time. They think now because Volkanovski went on this great run, but that doesn't erase it. If you go back, like what you said about Reyes and Jones, like, dude, that was a straight robbery, in my opinion. Like, it was a close fight.
It was. Yeah, it was.
But it was a close fight. Max and Volkanovski, too, even. It was. But I don't know. I just thought Max won the fight. And think about it. Why would we be here? Like, Volkanovski says, oh, I gave him this chance or whatever. There was no one else. There's always somebody else. But here's the thing. Why would we be here in a trilogy with Volkanovski up 2-0? It should be over. Why are we here?
You wouldn't.
Why are
exactly,
we here?
There would be no trilogy. Yeah, 100%, mate. But I mean, if Max gets this, I would be happy. But I can't even decide. I can't even pick a winner. Gun to my head, I'd have to say Volk. But Max Holloway, I mean, he's had a couple of fights since dismantled Cater, Yair Rodriguez. I mean, fighting against people that good is gonna elevate Max, the greatest. So we'll see what happens, bro. But yeah, you got me hyped on this now. Like, I was thinking, it's a third fight again. But now,
dude,
I'm
this
ready,
is a
man.
big time fight. These two guys this is literally 1A, 1B. And here's the thing. I'm saying all this about Volkanovski. I kind of feel like I have to go with Max at this point because I've talked so much shit over like the last year about this trilogy.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I have my pride and like my, everything has to be on Max at this point from what I've said. I can't back down now. But Volkanovski can easily win this fight. Like, that doesn't mean that I'm saying it's 1A, 1B for a reason. 1A, 1B literally means like it's so close. And here's the thing. I saw like the two fights out of 10 rounds. There's literally there's literally only 2 clear-cut rounds, in my opinion. Like, literally the remaining 8 rounds, it's like, oh, well, I can see why you would pick him in that fight.
Yeah.
In that round.
No, I get you, bro. But I mean, so who are you picking? You're going for Max?
I'm going with Max because I have to, but like, it's like 50-50. It's like, I don't know. I just don't know because Volkanovski's look good. But here's the thing, right? Everyone's saying Volkanovski's also on this crazy run, and I'm not a hater either. But like, here's the deal. Volkanovski also, look what happened in the Ortega fight. Look, we can't even retrace the steps since they've last fought. Max Holloway's done cleaner jobs in his fights. Max Holloway dispatched Brian Ortega easily, bro. Easily. Volkanovski had a tough. Volkanovski was fucked like 3 times in that fight.
That third round was my favorite round of last year. Like, I mean, props to Volkanovski for hanging on because that guillotine was in deep. Dude. It was in deep, bro. And then he almost got him with a triangle. Fair enough, showed a championship heart and got back up. But Max Holloway just picked him apart. Absolutely picked him apart. You remember when they were in the middle of a fight and he was like saying, "Oh, put your guard up." He was like holding his hands, trying to say, "Put your guard up." That's how kind of like Zen style Max Holloway is in there.
Yeah. And you know what? Big John McCarthy's weighing in podcast. I was watching it and he said something that's interesting. He said when Max gets into like a flow state, like what he did against Calvin Kattar, like if he, and I agree with him on this, if the Max Holloway that shows up, that's like loose as hell and like round 3-4, like he was against Kattar, I don't think Volkanovski's going to beat him. I don't think so. But let's see.
I mean, well, let's see, bro. Let's see. But I mean, we are the spoilers. Like, that's the main event and co-main event. And the undercard beneath it as well, bro. Like, come on, this Sean Strickland, Alex Pereira fight.
That's the one I want to get into now because this is a storyline. There's 2 storylines in this card. I feel like it's the trilogy fight between the 2 the best featherweights, and then we have these 2 fights. That's the second storyline of like, okay, so we know that like Strickland Pereira is legitimately like the title eliminator fight. They're gonna fight next probably or Cannonier.
Pereira's unranked, but because he's beat Izzy twice in kickboxing, he'll get elevated straight to that, and that's that storyline, isn't it? But yesterday, did you watch the press conference?
I did.
So weird how like Alex Pereira there is like enemies. Izzy's like bitter enemy, and it's just Sean Strickland and Izzy going at each other. Pereira's not saying a word.
Yeah.
I think everybody's scared of Pereira, and I don't blame them. Have you seen that guy? He's terrifying. He's so scary to look at, man. Like,
I don't think he speaks English, too. That's also probably a big part of it.
Yeah. I guess you can't really.
Because if he spoke English and was understanding a lot of the shit that was being said, he definitely would have fired back at some points, like yesterday.
Yeah.
Because Strickland was saying some shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guilty. I watched Pereira's last fight in the UFC, but I haven't. I've been on YouTube. I've checked the highlights and shit. I know he's a bad motherfucker, but I mean, does he beat the fourth ranked guy in the world tomorrow? Is that possible?
There's another pick'em fight, in my opinion, 50-50 for me, just because Pereira is so dangerous, even though he doesn't have the experience. But I'm going with Strickland. Here's the problem, though. I think this is what's going to have to determine the fight, in my opinion. What's Sean Strickland going to do? Is he going to fight smart, or is he going to just get heated and just get into a dogfight? Sean Strickland has to wrestle tomorrow, in my opinion. I think he has to, and he's fully capable of it. He's not like one of these guys, never wrestles. No, he has a complete game. He's a complete mixed martial artist. But the problem is he loves to just stand and bang, even in times where he shouldn't do it sometimes. Where you're like, all right, you might want to secure this round.
He talks when he fights as well,
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great fighter, but I've just got this weird feeling that Pereira's just going to come in there and just like, I don't know, high kick him or something. Like, I'm just going to go with my gut feeling on that one.
Yeah.
But Sean Strickland, I do think he has to use his like MMA experience to get through like the storm that is that scary looking Brazilian motherfucker who's if he hits you, man, I mean, he knocked out the GOAT in kickboxing. And Izzy's sick of people bringing that up, but when he's fighting on the same card, you can't help but talk about it. You have to mention it somewhere because it's fascinating. And to be fair, I kind of want Alex Pereira to win because I want to see that. I'd love to see Izzy get his redemption. He even said, like, I don't know if you've seen the actual knockout, but Pereira goes over his like knocked out body and like he's like saying "fuck you" whatever, and Izzy said he's going to do that back, and like Izzy's life's like turned into a movie at this point, and could happen. It could happen.
It could happen. I kind of do want Pereira to win the fight too. Just that's why I said like there's storylines going into this pay-per-view. It's so exciting, and that's one of them. Is that the guy Israel Adesanya is on top, left kickboxing, and is on top of the MMA world. And now you have this guy who was his kryptonite that's just come into his world and say, I want to take your crown out of this world. Like, think about this. That's crazy.
Oh my God. It's some biblical shit. It really fucking is. It's mad. God.
He's coming to get him, bro. He's coming to get him.
I just got chills.
Think about it. Like, he's like a hitman, bro. He's like, I took him out of kickboxing. Like, I'm coming to his new territory. Like, you can't run. Just think about this, right? I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but imagine if he beats Izzy, like starches him, like how badass that would be. Like, he starched him in kickboxing and then went into his world and starched him and took his title.
I can't even think about that. I just feel so sorry for Israel, man. Dude. Like, he takes losses good, but that would just be devastating, man. But listen, he's got to get past Sean Strickland first. So, I mean, it would just be so funny if like a guy like Sean Strickland, like he's such a lunatic, and that guy, like, if he spoils this perfect storyline, then he goes on the mic, shouts, "Let's go, Brandon," or something. Like, just fucking, that's just something that Sean Strickland would do, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what he said he wanted to do. He said he wants to play spoiler. So,
I
think that's fun. I think that could be fun if he does that. I don't know if you saw, when you saw the press conference, he was kind of almost obliterating Adesanya in the microphone at some point.
Oh, yeah. Adesanya had nothing to say to him. But apparently Adesanya like smacked his bum, his ass, as you guys say, fucking going on the stage, and apparently Strickland done nothing. So
that's what he said, know, but did you see when Strickland was like, "Oh, shut the hell up! You're gonna break a nail" or something like that?
Yeah, but Adesanya's getting really sus. Like, he smacks Sean Strickland on the ass, and then he's like humping Paulo Costa, painting his nails and shit. He's getting real sus, but that's
what I'm saying, dude. That's why it was hilarious. That's why it was funny when Strickland called him out on the nails. He was like, "Oh, you're gonna break a nail." He's like, "Sit down." That was like that actually bothered Izzy. If you saw that, like that bothered him a little bit. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna slap you with this nail or something."
Yeah. He turned his back to the crowd, and like that's not one thing you should do. Like, he turned around to like hide his like how he felt to the crowd.
Yeah. You know what's you know what? It's something I tweeted yesterday, and here's the thing about why I think Sean Strickland's going to be so good on the mic, but still kind of risky because he's a loose cannon. But
yeah,
he's good because Sean Strickland genuinely doesn't care what people think about him. He doesn't drive these crazy cars. He doesn't care about wearing watches. Like, dude, he showed up in a white. He showed up in a white t-shirt with jeans.
Yeah.
And you know, like the keychain, you know, like the thing you attach to the old thing that the keychain thing that you attach to your belt with keys. He just showed up like that. He doesn't care.
He doesn't give a fuck.
But when he's talking on the mic, he's just talking shit. He's not doing it to try to impress anyone in the crowd.
Just like me, the kid he just likes to fucking scrap, man. That's all. That's what he likes to do. Good for him. You know, like I never used to be that much of a fan, but like I'm starting to kind of like him a bit. I think he's a fucking lunatic, and he reminds you of like the old school MMA fighters. Like you know, when I'm not saying he's on steroids or anything, but when steroids were clearly like evident in the UFC and they were all like just raging and shouting and that, he's still kind of like that, but he's clean.
Got roid rage.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
but yeah, like I said, I'm going for Alex just out of good feeling, but it's gonna be a good one.
That's another one that's just 50-50 for me, so I can't even blame you there. Yeah, so the next one is let's get into Robbie Lawler versus Barberena for a little. You know, Robbie Lawler's a legend, been around for a while.
Legend.
Barberena, I don't know if he's gonna, you know, I don't know if either guy's gonna want to take this to the ground, so it could be a scrap. What do you think?
I think it's gonna be an absolute war, bro. Just judging by like just how they go on. Robbie Lawler, I mean, do we even have to mention the wars he's been in? The one with I'm losing his name now, Canadian fella. Come on, UFC 189.
Rory McDonald.
Yeah. Rory McDonald. I don't know, I forgot his name, but one of the greatest UFC fights ever. Barberena's a savage. Any kid with a mohawk like that knows to go in there and just fucking scrap. Yeah, Dana White said this is the one he's looking forward to on his Instagram. He said this is like the barn burner. So, I'm not sure. I think the youth of Barberena might get it. But Lawler, never sleep with him, ex-champ. We'll see. What do you reckon?
I think Barberena too. I think if that's what you're leaning towards Barberena because I am.
Yeah. I just think just the newest dog against the old dog, isn't it? But I don't know, just a feeling I've got. He might be more hungry for it these days, you know. Robbie Lawler's like maybe not the same. I mean, his last fight, what was it, Nick Diaz?
Yeah.
Let's face it, the sad it is Nick Diaz ain't no Nick Diaz no more.
No.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to go for Barberena, sorry.
Yeah, I think he wins too. I just want to know if here's the thing. I think Barberena, I think it'll go one of two ways. I think Barberena either finishes him or I think it goes to a 5-round war where Barberena wins in a pretty close fight or a 3-round war.
Yeah.
But the reason I say that is because I just don't know what Robbie Lawler I'm going to get. You know, sometimes Robbie Lawler comes out a little bit gun shy almost. There was some fights like the Colby fight and a couple other fights where he just wasn't throwing enough. He was almost just hitting and running a little bit. Not running, but hitting and moving.
Yeah.
Too much. The Nick Diaz fight, for example, fights like that, he looked like more engaged and all that. But like you said, it's Nick Diaz, so I just don't know. But like all logic definitely points to Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, 100. I mean
to Barberena, right?
Barberena, yeah, I got you. Yeah, man. But I think it'll go 3 rounds. I think it'll be a war. I don't see it being a finish. I think
I do too.
Yeah,
I do too. I think Barberena wins a decision.
Yeah. I'm gonna go for that as well.
You think it'll be unanimous, or you think it'll be a split?
Could be well, if it's going to be a war, why not go for split decision? You know what I mean? One of those back and forths. I'm hoping so anyway, because this main card is like every single fight. Like I think this was put above O'Malley and Munoz for a reason, because they're going to expect like absolute fucking fireworks. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I think it'll be a split decision in favor of Brian Barberena.
Yeah, and O'Malley has been very adamant that he either wants to close a pay-per-view or open it, so he doesn't mind.
No, fair, yeah. Sean O'Malley, man. Should we talk about that fight?
Yeah, that's the last one on the main card.
Yeah.
What do you think of that one?
Oh man, I kind of want O'Malley to win because it's fun. Munoz, Pedro's a fucking he's a vet, you know, and this is Sean O'Malley's real true test. It really is. Can he pass it? But the kid's good, you know. Like, he's so fucking good at striking. He really is. I think Pedro might take. I really can't decide. I mean, it's kind of like The Holloway and Volkanovski for me.
Oh,
Like,
you're split on this one? You're split on this one?
Do you really think it's Pedro?
No, I think O'Malley wins.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, Pedro's from ATT and he's a vet, and I don't know, like, it's tough. I mean, O'Malley's favourites, no doubt, but it's just like Pedro Munoz has been at the game like so long and just top of that division for like how many years now, and like he's good, man. People sleep on him, I think. Like, as much as I love O'Malley to win, I'm gonna pick Pedro for this. Like, I think he's just gonna be too good, like too technical. Like, he's not gonna let O'Malley, like do his like flow, like that fancy shit he does. I just gonna think it's gonna be like Chito Vera, like just like pure fucking athlete against like the rock star kind of thing, you know. But I don't want that to happen. I want O'Malley to win. I just don't have a good feeling about it. But I'm excited to watch the fight. I'll tell you that much.
What do you think of? Do you think it's a tougher fight than the Cheeto fight? Than the test? Do you think it's a bigger test than the Cheeto test that he had when he fought him?
I think it's about the same level. But Cheeto gets better and better every time he fights. Like, he's like,
yeah, Cheeto's better than Pedro now, but at the time, though, maybe it was probably close.
Yeah, 100%. But again, I think it's the same level, but yeah, I think Pedro's it's just as much as a test as it was against Cheeto, to be honest with you. But yeah, I want O'Malley to win. I really do. But I just don't see it happening. So you think O'Malley's going to win, and how? Do you think it's going to be a stoppage? Do you think decision?
I think it's going to be a stoppage. Yeah, I think O'Malley stops him, bro. Yeah, I think he's going to work the kicks to the body. And then he's going to start opening up top, and I think he's going to put him out. Here's the thing, though. Is it his toughest test? Yeah, it definitely is his toughest test. And could I see it going 3 hard rounds? Yeah, 100%. Because Pedro Munoz went for 3 hard rounds of Cruz, right? He went 3 hard rounds of Frankie Edgar. I think I saw something where his last 4 wins were against former world champs, right? So
yeah,
Pedro,
that's what I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was Cruz, Edgar,
Aljamain, was it?
Yeah. Aldo, and Aljamain. Yep, those 4. So you can't knock it. He's won 4 or 5 though, but still.
This is what I'm saying, man.
Lost 4 or 5.
Yeah. But I mean, O'Malley's the type of guy, man. He's got that presence. He's got that McGregor-esque like stepping up to big occasions. So I could see him put like, I think if he's going to win, it's going to be like a spectacular knockout. Like it's just what he does. But like I've just got to be sensible about it, and I think I've just got that feeling, bro.
You really think Pedro's going to beat him?
Yeah, man, I think so.
That's interesting.
I don't want it to happen, but I just think so. Like I just think he might be a bit too experienced. And
so you think it's going to be one of those where it's like a dude rising up that everyone thought was going to win, and then the experienced guy just sort of knocks him down a peg, something like that. Yeah, we've seen that before a lot of times.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a case of that where like Pedro's not going. He might use wrestling and stuff and not let O'Malley. Like, it's going to be one where the fans are booing because Pedro's going to like hold him down and wrestle him, have his way with him, or something like that. But O'Malley's good on the ground. People sleep on his jiu-jitsu. He's had some submission wins over. Who was that Japanese guy who used to be in Pride? I'm never going to remember his name, but he's like legendary submission wrestler. And O'Malley tapped him out.
How many does he have? A lot of submission wins, O'Malley? I never knew he had. I don't know. I want to see that. Actually, I'm interested. I never even knew he had a submission win.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not. I think it wasn't like an official like where you would find it on Wikipedia or anything like that. It was just like I just heard him talking about it in a podcast. It was Takanori Gomi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Takanori Gomi.
Yeah, O'Malley tapped him. I think it was just like a charity thing, but it was still like a full on like jiu-jitsu tournament, and O'Malley tapped out Takanori Gomi. He was a legendary like submission wrestler. Man, dropping knowledge.
I remember Takanori Gomi. No, I just didn't know that I didn't know O'Malley had was it like an exhibition match or something like that, or like
something like that. You'll have to Google it.
Okay.
I've said it now.
And O'Malley submitted him.
Definitely, yes, I believe. Yeah.
Damn, okay. No. Yeah. I just didn't know that. That's interesting. I was gonna say about Pedro too is, dude, go look at Pedro's record. Pedro's got some submissions under his belt too. I think he actually officially has like 3-4 submission wins in his career.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, this is what I'm saying, bro. But how many fights has he had as well? Pedro, he's had about 35 something. So
he's experienced, man. Like he's been in there with. If you look at his record, like the people he fought, even all the way to like Cody Garbrandt, like he's fought some really good people, man. And like O'Malley, like let's be honest, I'm gonna pull up his record here. Who is he real? Like he's fought some good guys, but has he fought like war? Because even like when he fought Thomas Almeida, that wasn't the Thomas Almeida that like fought Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So he
no,
fought...
exactly, yeah. But this is exactly what I'm saying. You know, his toughest test was Cheeto, and you know, did he have a leg injury or something like that? But you know, he didn't win the fight, and that's, you know, there's only one stat that matters in fighting: the win, the loss. You know, and he lost that one. So I just see it going that way again. But
so let's look at his last 5. Right? Let's even look at his last 6. It's Ware, you know, Quinones, Wineland, lost to Cheeto, Almeida, Chris Moutinho, Chris Moutinho, he might as well fought Chris Moutinho in the Contender Series.
Chris Moutinho. Chris Moutinho pretty much came off fucking an amateur fight to fight on like a McGregor card. So
I think Moutinho was like at a pub somewhere, and like they just called him like, "Do you want to fight O'Malley?" And he was like, "Yeah, fuck it."
I think Chris Moutinho was on PCP. Like you see those cop videos where the guy's naked and shit, and it's like 6 police officers trying to take him down. I think Moutinho was on PCP, and like he was just taking so much damage, he just wouldn't stop.
Dude,
so yeah,
that was O'Malley said that like his hands hurt for like days afterwards because of how much he was punching him in the face.
Yeah,
brutal.
It should have been stopped so much earlier.
So yeah, I mean, look, I just read off like some like the last 6 fights he's had, right? Not crazy names. Like that's the one thing you can. And then one time he has fought Cheeto, but the thing about Cheeto is even the Cheeto fight was going well for him before he hit that nerve. It was going pretty well for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't like how he says he's like undefeated and all that. Like just own up to it, you know?
Yeah.
Because if it was a street fight and he hit a nerve on your leg, you still lost a street fight. Like he's gonna kill you. So.
Yeah, 100%. Well, it's a fight. Anything really goes. I mean, apart from like, you know, eye pokes and shit. But, you know, but is the kick legal? Yeah, it's legal in the sport. It was a method of victory, as far as I'm concerned.
For sure.
But I mean,
these. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. No. Please go on. Oh, you want to get in the prelims?
Yeah, dude, I'm excited because even the prelims are good.
The prelims are fucking stacked.
Is there which ones excite you the most out of the prelims? Because I'm trying to find the prelims now as we speak.
You know what is the absolute sleeper fight? It's the Brad Tavares fight against I think I can't pronounce his name, Dricus Duplessis or something. South African guy. I can't remember his last fight, but just looks so fucking impressive. I'm interested in seeing the South African dude. I'm just gonna call him Duplessis. That'll do. But mate, he's good.
Duplessis, yeah.
He's good, man. And I think he just goes like he makes a statement there. I'm excited to see Ian Gary. You know, like the Conor McGregor from Wish.
I got a few problems with that, dude. I got a couple.
Yeah,
problems.
Man. Like, no, but you see, mate, he's so cringy because he's from like my side of the world, right? And he just doesn't act like anybody acts over here. He really doesn't. Like Paddy Pimblett's brash, right?
Yeah.
But at least he's honest, and that's him. Ian Gary just seems like, I don't know. I'm trying not to hate on the guy because I'm a fan. But it's just, I just cringe a bit when he goes on about like how, I don't know, he's just fucking cringe, bro.
Yeah, I would have to double down on that because like he says he doesn't even have a big following and like he's beating guys and all that, but like after the fight, like he tries to be like Conor McGregor. He's like, this is the takeover part 2. And it's like, dude, no, it's not. Like nobody knew who you were, no offense, before you even said that. Like honestly,
yeah.
Weird. Like I have this weird sense that like he just feels like he's a lot better than he is. Did you see what he said recently?
No. Well, maybe what did he say,
dude? And I'm not lying. You can Google this after we're done here. He said that he's the best trash talk. Something along the lines of he said he's the best trash talker in the history of MMA besides Chael and Connor. I've seen that. Yeah. I'm not lying. Oh my God.
I'm just cringing, bro. Wow. I'm sure you just got a Conor McGregor tattoo as well.
Yeah, right.
Did you see that?
What? Wait, what? I thought you were joking.
No. Wait, I'm on my Mac because I'll pull up. Try
Get
pull
out of here.
I think so, yeah. That was Conor McGregor inspired tattoo. Ian Gary McGregor tattoo. I hope I'm right on this one. Yeah, I think it is. Oh, yeah. One day ago, Ian Gary discusses his Conor McGregor inspired tattoo. Come on, man. What are you doing? Be yourself.
I know. That's the thing but like if he had a big following like O'Malley or something, and he wanted to compare himself to McGregor, I'd say, all right, cool, whatever. But like he doesn't have it. Like not many people know who he is except for like hardcore fans. That's the thing. And interestingly enough is I actually interviewed the guy. I had him on the channel like a month ago. Gabe Green, the guy that's fighting him. Watch out.
Oh, yeah, you did.
He is a tough guy.
You did, yeah.
He is tough.
Yeah, man.
And he's coming to win the fight. Yeah. He's coming to fight. He's not coming to ride out a decision or something. He's coming to finish you, whether on the ground, stand up, whatever.
Yeah. Well, was this fight? What was it? Was this announced when you interviewed him?
No.
Right. That would have been sick, man. See, like what he wants to do and that. But yeah, man. So Gabe Green coming to fight, is he? Because I don't really know too much about the guy, if I'm completely honest. So. But you know,
he's got good boxing. He has really good boxing, slick boxer. So I think he can piece him up a bit. But I don't know. I think Ian Gary, I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything, but it's gonna be a good fight.
No, yeah. No, it's gonna be a good fight. And I wish Ian Gary all the best. I just wish he'd just be himself a little bit more. And yeah, we've got Cerrone. You know, I mean, he's probably gonna get the flu on the day of the fight, and it's not gonna happen because he seems to be cursed at the minute, like. But you know, I just kind of wish at this point Cerrone would just kind of hang up the gloves. You know, like I'm getting a bit concerned when he goes in there. But listen, if he goes in there, knocks out Jim Miller, I'd be like, all right, okay. But you know, I think if this one goes against him in this favor, I think it's time to for Dana to have a word with him, because he's a legend in the game. And sure, he's got plenty of money and shit. He doesn't need to do this. He's got a son in that, but I don't know.
Yeah,
what
I think this is for. I think this is also for like the most wins in UFC history, right?
Is it?
I think it is.
So
it's got a little bit of a storyline to it. Yeah.
So it's a bit of a title. It's somewhat a title fight without the gold, isn't it? Yeah. I mean,
I'm excited.
Jim
I'm excited.
Good.
I think Jim Miller. I think Jim Miller gets the job done in that one.
Yeah, man. We've also got Brad Riddell against Jalen Turner. So that's the first guy out of City Kickboxing, and Jalen Turner. I followed him like 2 years ago. I think he had like 20,000 followers. Something. Now he's got a lot more. So there was just something I seen about him. It was when the Apex first started having the COVID fights, and I was like, this kid's good. Like he's like 6'4". He's just nasty.
Yeah.
But Brad Riddell, I mean, anything that comes out of that gym at the minute is just fucking like. I think they're probably the best gym on the planet right now as far as like what they're doing in the game. And you know, they're all together. If you watch it embedded, like they've got such like a group unity, and I think that pours into the fights as well. So yeah, man, that's the future about, isn't it? And that's going to be sick.
For sure, man. And I think that's a good wrapping point as we run out of time here. This is going to be a stacked card, man. And listen, let's keep in touch during that card. I kind of want to get your thoughts on all that stuff. Yeah. And good luck staying up until 6 a.m., my friend.
Well, I'm gonna need you to talk to me, so you're gonna have to help me stay up, you know. But once the fights are on, bro, like I'm excited and I'm like, sleep. What the fuck is that? I'll be okay. Don't worry about me.
All right, brother. All the best.
Yeah, man. Peace, brother. Cheers.
Take it easy. Enjoy that card, man.